This week, I'm going to touch on trauma and how trauma can impact our lives as an individual, but also those around us. I'm Dr. Brett, and thank you very much for sharing these videos, being a part of it, interacting with me and the posts as well. It's very much appreciated. I'm going to talk about, in this video, about the types of trauma there are. And one of the most important things about our trauma is to be aware of that trauma and how it's impacted us as individuals. Whether it's happened a long time ago when we were children or happened throughout our lives, and how that knock-on effect can impact us in the long run. So the two of the most common ones I'm going to discuss, or I'm going to mention straight away, are our physical trauma and our emotional trauma. So our emotional and psychological trauma can lead to intense emotional responses such as anger, anxiety, depression, guilt, shame, fear, embarrassment. And when people suffer from this sort of trauma, they can struggle when it comes to regulating their emotions, and they can experience mood swings as a result. And sometimes can even look like post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. And it can affect memories and nightmares and flashbacks, and it can really put them on edge a lot. And it can cause us to shut down and withdraw and have affect our relationships and our mental well-being. The physical trauma is obviously one of the most common ones, and it can lead to obviously chronic pain and disabilities. Can really help our mental health, and that in itself, especially if we've got chronic pain, it can actually just wear us down. It's exhausting having physical pain. It's not just the pain there. It affects us psychologically as well. The next one I want to discuss is grief and loss, and that can be the loss of a loved one, can be a loss of a relationship, a marriage, a child. It can be the loss of a job, and then the grieving process to go through that. And that can really become complicated as well. And again, this can resemble post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. Another very common, or not so common, but common type of trauma is witnessing violence, or witnessing a traumatic event, and watching someone die or get killed. A violent, a car accident, a fight, a murder. Those sort of things can have a lasting psychological effect on us as people, and as an ex-first responder, as an ex-police officer, knowing what those first responders go through, I totally understand that those multiple times that can happen can really start to impact their mental health and well-being. Medical trauma is another one, and that's resulting from medical procedures or surgeries or illnesses that don't go well, that have caused a significant impact on your life. Being diagnosed with a significant illness or disease, those things can have a big impact on us as individuals. Being involved in a natural disaster or surviving a serious accident. So surviving those life-threatening situations can have a heightened acute reaction, or even phobias. And the last one I want to mention, it's the second last one I want to mention, is sexual trauma. That, the rapes, the child abuse, all that sort of stuff can have obviously a massive impact. The cultural or religious, racial, sexual orientation type of trauma as well, where people are feeling traumatized because of who they are and their background. And all those can impact us. And being aware of those things and what may have impacted us in our past and still affecting us today, that awareness is one of the first steps to allow you to move forward. I hope that helped. A bit of a longer video than I expected, but I hope that helps. And I'll see you next time. Peace, love, and healing. Bye.